Since there are only 100 people left, we need to start laying some groundwork for the future of our society. Mike and I have prepared some basic guidelines that we would like to present to the group and have each voted on to see if they should be implemented into our society.
As a point of reference, we will keep the novel The Lord of the Flies around our camp. The book will serve as an example of what could happen if we allow ourselves to let society collapse even further than it already has.
Additionally, there will be zero tolerance for racism. In class this year, we saw the internal damage that a racist society can have on an individual when we saw the downfall of Baker Thomas. We see in Native Son that allowing for racism to cultivate an already very volatile and evidently problematic reality will quickly lead to conflict.
There will be no more political parties. In history, we have seen that the creation of Democratic Republicans versus the Federalists only complicates legislation to the point where little is accomplished. The inclusion of political parties creates an unnecessary schism between groups of people in a time where they need to band together.
The community will have the ability to keep law enforcement in check. Further, we will adamantly keep law enforcement as racially diverse as possible. The world saw as Walter Scott, for example, was murdered by Michael Slager. It is evident that the community needs to fully get along with the police force, and we should do anything in our power to facilitate that.
We will have religious tolerance in our society. However, there will be no tolerance for religions clashing with other religions. That means that there will be no impeding and no recruiting on other religions. We learn that this is a harmful concept in sociology. Sociology being the study of the development, structure, and functioning of human society, religion is a sociological concept that we cannot allow to create problems in our already vulnerable post-apocalyptic society.
A simple concept that we all learn in our earliest years of schooling is to share. This is an essential concept that we all learned in elementary school. We need to utilize this trait efficiently in these dire times. Looking out for your neighbor and providing them with whatever you can, even when you have little yourself, is essential to the prosperity of our struggling community.
It is evident that education is a necessary component to any prosperous society. Those that have seen Dead Poets Society are familiar with the dialogue from that movie and how adamant John Keating is about education. In the movie, John says, "We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are all noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life." He goes on to question, what good amid these, O me, O life? And the answer is that you are here, that life exists, and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. In Dead Poets Society, the group determines that poetry is the way that they will contribute to society. That is their verse. But this notion extends into all of education. Whether your verse is to contribute expertise in medicine, communications, or any other type of knowledge, education is first necessary.
Also, the biological concept of Darwinism could be an effective idea to implement into our society. It's important for the few members of our society to be constructive contributors, and we do not need any liabilities in our camp.
Additionally, this year in France, we saw in the Charlie Hebdo act of terrorism that any form of terrorism is detrimental to a society attempting to thrive. We need to have zero tolerance for terrorism. If we are being threatened, we will strategically respond.
Finally, we also find it important to keep a strong community bond. As seniors in the Radnor High School this year, we got to be part of Lower Merion Spirit Week in its entirety. During this week, everybody becomes friends. It's a great example of community building something together and maintaining a mindset that is beneficial and family-oriented. Alright, so, let's have a vote.
All in favor of the proposed rules, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Alright, good. We're all in agreement.